Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update: after 6 months, my girlfriend cheated on me, told my best friend, and he did nothing. Original post. So the situation in 2019 was like this: my 23 male, girlfriend 23 female, moved into a new place and very soon opened up to me that she was attracted to her roommate and that the attraction was mutual. That roommate was in an open relationship with another girl at that time, and she told me with the hope that I would be accepting of an open relationship. This caused a lot of trouble in our relationship, and I made it clear from the beginning that I do not accept if they kiss, hook up, or anything. It was a very troublesome time and we almost broke up, but in the end, I talked to both her and her roommate, and they both promised to me that they would not be intimate. I also told both of them that I expect them to be honest, because I know it would cause me psychological harm to be lied to, and that I'd be fine with breaking up with her right now if it's necessary. Our relationship was very rocky at that time, but it got better as it became clear that there was no more attraction between the two of them. She also wanted to move out soon afterwards. In hindsight, I think she lost attraction as she realized that he was sleeping with other girls too, and she felt treated like an object by him probably. At that time, I talked a lot to my best friend about my distrust and my fear of her cheating on me, and he was one of the few people that I could rely on at that time. In the time frame 2020 to 2021, the time after she moved out from that roommate, that best friend became more friendly with my girlfriend, which I was happy about because it is great if your friends and girlfriend get along well. After some time, she apparently came out to him about the fact that she had slept with her roommate during that time and never talked to me about it. And even though my friend knew my opinion on this, that is that I was afraid of being psychologically harmed by being lied to and not afraid of breaking up with a cheater, did nothing. He did not tell her it was wrong, he did not tell her that she should tell me about it, and he did not tell me about it and chose to remain silent. Even worse, 2 weeks before I broke up with her, she accidentally in a conversation admitted to having kissed her roommate. I was shocked by this because it was completely out of the question for me that they would do that. I immediately lost my trust and respect towards her, but she still swore that she did not sleep with him and claimed she had just forgotten to tell me about it. The first thing I did upon hearing this was contacting my best friend and meeting him to tell him about this. He reacted in a very strange way. He was very shocked to hear this, but very slow to respond. I could not put my finger on what it was at that time. He was empathetic, but he told me that I should try to trust her. I also had the idea of contacting the roommate and demand from him that he tell me the entire truth of what happened, but he advised me against that, because in his opinion, I cannot build a relationship upon distrust, all whilst knowing the truth that she cheated on me. All this only came out because that very friend talked to one mutual friend of all three of us. Luckily, she was the only person in that situation that seemed to have any kind of moral grounding, and she pressured my girlfriend to tell me the truth, which she finally did. I gave my girlfriend the opportunity to explain herself, she did, and then I broke up with her. I am still shaken to the core by all this. It's been 8 months, and it still hurts like it did at the first day. I feel like I've been betrayed by the two people I trusted most, and I don't know how to deal with it. I have always been an introverted person. It is hard for me to open up to others, and now I don't even know how I can ever be able to trust someone again. I have no one to talk to about this because I broke contact with most of my other friends as well because they still associate with my girlfriend and I really don't want her in my life. I am also shocked by the lack of moral convictions that my friends seem to have. They all continue to hang out with her even though they know what she's done and what it has done to me. I have some remaining friends, but these friendships are either superficial or they live in another city. I have a supportive family, but I cannot really talk to them about things like this in the way that I need to. I am looking for a psychotherapist now and hope it will help me to get out of this. I never meet friends at the moment, but otherwise, I try to take good care of myself as best as I can. I eat healthy, work out, sleep well, never consume alcohol or any substances, and I spend most of my time at work or learning programming or other skills to keep my mind preoccupied. I don't engage in self-harm and never would. Thanks to anyone who read through the entire text. I don't even have any questions. I just needed to get this out of my system, but I would appreciate to hear thoughts. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Oh, that's horrible. Are you sure your ex and BFF didn't have a thing going? I have lost many friends over years, some were childhood, but as I grew, I made new friends. The thing is, I learned to enjoy my own company and made friends easily too. This implied I can choose the kind of people I want around. Have a great goal and focus your rage towards it. Thanks for your reply. To be honest, I think she might have been interested in him and that's why she told him. But I don't believe that he was attracted to her. They did not meet regularly, and if they met, it was always initiated by my ex. I think the reason he didn't tell me was that he is a weak person and that he wanted to avoid conflicts. I think he hoped it would just never come out. Edit. One thing that speaks in his favor is that they never met again in private after the day that she told him. But the problem with this entire situation is that I still don't know the entire truth and probably never will know because I don't know whose words to trust anymore. Oh damn. If that is the kind of person your ex is, you should feel lucky you got rid of her. No decent and self-respecting person can handle that. As for your friend, based on the details you mentioned, yes, I have met those meek guys. They are absolutely avoidant and it's annoying. They never have your back, just agrees without opinion, and make their stupid judgment calls. Not entirely their fault, but I cannot be friends or partner with anyone who cannot speak up. You attract what you are and sometimes the opposite. Learn to distinguish those opposite ones. Yeah, I think I attract harmony-oriented and avoidant people. My ex was also in that group, because I am like that myself. I am working on that though and try to be more confrontational in the future. But in contrast to them, I have always been consistent with my moral values, and even call my friends out when I see they are doing something wrong. I also used to think that soft, sensitive people are more trustworthy. But I now see that this was a bad way to filter people, because they are also very often weak people. They are very likable, but they often have little moral grounding, because they will always adapt the position of the person they are talking to. And now for the update. It's been 6 months since I posted that, and my situation only got worse even though I am doing therapy now. I am still completely socially isolated because my entire friend circle wants to remain friends with my ex, who cheated on me and lied for 2 years about it, and also told it to my former best friend who was complicit in the lie. I have broken off contact with most of my friends, but I think I will actually have to cut ties to every single one of them because they all are still in contact with her. Am I demanding too much from them if I want them to exclude her? She has plenty friends of her own, while I do not have a single remaining friend that is not in contact with her. She even ex-ted one of my friends. My entire life collapsed 13 months ago and nobody seems to care. And all of this because I trusted her and let her into my life. I didn't do anything wrong, yet now I am the person that isolates himself, not her. And I don't even want revenge, I only want to go separate ways but without losing all of my friends, but I think it's too late for that now. I am still completely torn from what has happened. What kind of messed up world are we living in, where cheating is socially accepted like this? How will I ever be able to trust anyone ever again? I hate the fact that I have to start from zero again now socially, but also with the additional impediment of massive trust issues because of what she has done to me. I hope I will have better news in a future update. You may have to ask yourself if these were ever real friends to begin with. I think that most of them are staying in contact because they might get the chance to sleep with her. They know she is the type to sleep with more than one person and will probably make moves on her at some point. These are toxic people, and it's better they are out of your life anyway. You will find new friends and move on from this eventually. Unfortunately, it takes time for this to happen. These people aren't your friends. They use you for something, but it doesn't seem like that's the case anymore after she left. Ditch them and make a new life you'll actually like. Join a gym, go to church, find some stuff to do local, concerts, runs, cooking classes, wine tastings, hobby events, etc., even if it's an hour or two away. Get a new job, travel, go back to school. Expose yourself every opportunity you get. I mean, we've been rejected in the worst way possible by the person closest to us. Why should we care if a stranger thinks it's weird to make small talk at a grocery store? Thanks for your comment. I am with you, I need to get out more. I know that rationally, but emotionally I feel really hopeless after all that has happened. I have started doing workouts at home in the last year and will probably go to gym soon. I thought about going to church. I am not really religious, even though I was raised Christian. I think that one of the good reasons for the existence of religion is that most people are too stupid to see that there is a rational reason for acting in moral ways, but the thought that God might not like them for it gives them a very simple, understandable reason. I truly think one of the reasons my ex got accepted like this is because my friends are all atheists. You wouldn't be accepted like this in any religious community. Not like I wished for her to be punished in any way either. I would just like to see her face or some kind of negative social feedback for what she has done to me. Funny enough, my cheating wife was both encouraged, enabled, and endorsed by a group of churchgoers. They absolutely love her. I do my best to give up finding closure with any of these people. They are broken as hell to think this behavior is normal or ever excusable. Even if you don't want the relationship with God now or ever, it's a good excuse to roll out of bed, and the groups or socials churches tend to have will open the door to a new crowd of people. I'm doing this and trying to visit whatever places online are highly recommended or reviewed on Google. Any exposure is good in my mind, gotta keep the social muscles strong. Damn, that makes me lose hope in the church. How can you call yourself a Christian and support infidelity? In situations like this, we learn who truly is or was a friend and who isn't. It might take time, I know there has been time, but more time before perhaps a few of those friends disassociate with your ex, a few might. Then you will know. If not, focus on new friends but in a casual way at first. As for your trust issues, work on that in therapy. First, focus on trusting yourself, your gut. The hardest thing after infidelity is we were gaslit and lied to so much and believed some of those lies. We dismissed ourselves and trust in ourselves. You have to get that back before trust issues are resolved. And as others have stated, perhaps these friends were truly not. Could you get a dog or puppy? I ask because that could fill your time, but also you could meet others who could be friends in the future. Also, feel free to casually date, not with any expectations, just to go to dinner, see a movie, etc. Do you have a coworker you find interesting? Perhaps they could be a friend. You are also doing so much better than when you were with her, right? So it's progress. Be kind to yourself. In 5 years, you will look back on this time as a period of rebuilding that will lead to your best life. Thanks for your comment. I really hope therapy will help. So far it doesn't, unfortunately. And I agree that it should be my focus to find new friends. But it's hard for me. I agree that these friends were truly not. I have to say, I am currently not doing better than when I was with her. I was always a very happy person and very content with what I had before the lie came out. And I just miss spending time with other people. Last story. My 27 male, girlfriend 28 female, cheated and then hid it from me because her therapist told her. I am still reeling from the disclosure, so please bear with me if the post seems to be all over the place. This just happened yesterday. I have been in what I thought was a happy relationship with my girlfriend for 2 years now, and it all came crashing down yesterday when I got a message yesterday from a woman who claimed my girlfriend had cheated while she was on a vacation with her friends. I thought it's some kind of prank and told her so, but then she told me exactly when it happened and at what hotel my girlfriend and her friends were staying. She even knew the room number. Apparently, her boyfriend was also staying in the same hotel, and that's when the cheating happened. I decided to ask my girlfriend, and to my surprise she didn't deny it, but she insisted it was the only time she has ever cheated on me in our entire relationship. But it gets even worse because she was thinking about telling me. That's what she tells me, but her therapist advised her against it. The therapist told her that as long as she wasn't going to do it again, it didn't make any sense to confess it to me and put our relationship in danger. I was speechless. I guess there are therapists out there encouraging their clients to lie and hide things from their partners. I am at a friend's place right now as I don't know what to do. I don't trust anything which comes out of her mouth now. It could be the only time she cheated, but it could also be the only time someone reached out to me about her cheating. She seems very remorseful and her tears seem genuine, but I don't know what to trust now. Till yesterday, I was sure she would never cheat. But today all that is lie. Would really love some advice. Now for the advice. Forget the therapist and what they said. Your girlfriend cheated, then kept it from you, then deflected blame. Are you okay with this? Are you okay with future trips she takes with the same group? He will never be able anymore to sit still in peace at home or do work while she is on vacation. His mind will race and ask himself questions, like where is she now? It's 30 minutes since her last message. That's enough time to cheat on me. Is she doing it right now? And so on. For your own mental health, cut her loose. You can't come back from that. Not just cut her loose, I'm wondering if the friends she was with knew and didn't say anything to him. If it turns out they did and they have boyfriends, I would maybe give those guys a heads up that their girlfriends helped hide a cheater. Also, if it was a girls' trip and OP's girlfriend was cheating in the same room all the girls were sharing, I'm wondering if more than just OP's girlfriend cheated during the trip. If OP's girlfriend and the girls have gone on or go on regular girls' nights out or vacations, then OP absolutely cannot continue the relationship. Because barring her from going, especially if it's not public she cheated, will make him look like a controlling partner who is separating her from her friends. But OP also can't tag along to monitor her because they are girl nights out, and if she does go, he won't be able to trust her whether or not she said that she cheated while out. If those girls are mutual friends, I would cut them off, and also not be afraid to show the proof of the cheating, the text messages, maybe even ask the sender if you could post them with their name blocked out. I would totally post proof if she starts weaving a lie or crap talking him online, and I would say she is salty she got caught. Also OP, I go to therapy myself. I've never cheated, but if she had an issue that was the reason for her cheating, then my therapist would probably suggest that I am not ready for a relationship and break things off for both our mental health, as the cheating could very well make her remorseful after and anxious about if it's find out while finding out. Especially later on if things like kids, house, marriage or things that make it not easy to separate yourselves from the cheater would be extremely stressful and upsetting. I would own up to what I did, say I need to or will work on myself and apologize. It probably still wouldn't be a nice breakup, and I could get dragged through social media. But that's consequences and they can motivate us to change. I don't know what therapist suggested hiding it, without considering the consequences of it being found out later. I think she could be lying about the therapist, to be honest. Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update. My 23 female, ex-24 male, tried to end himself because I don't want to get back together with him after he cheated on me. Original post. Me and my ex were almost together for 2 years until I found out he cheated on me. Ironically, he cheated on me using Reddit, r4r subs, and to be honest, at first I didn't believe it, but then I got hit with the undeniable proof, and so I hardened my heart and broke up with him. It was a really messy breakup, with him crying, kneeling, begging, saying he only did that because he was frustrated, and that he truly loved me. Other times, he blamed me for him cheating because I didn't give him enough attention. I ignored all of this and blocked his number and all his social medias. He tried using his family's phones to reach me, and so I blocked them too, although I am civil with them despite all of this. Because he couldn't reach me through the cyberspace, he eventually went to my house. Thankfully, we had a locked gate, and my dogs were also very alert to intruders. He couldn't get in, and so he slumped in front of our street and cried while demanding to see me. I already told my parents beforehand that I broke up with him, so my mom frantically called me that my ex was here crying. I immediately went back home and confronted him. He said a lot, saying how he couldn't live without me, and that he'd kill himself if I wouldn't get back together with him. Now this is where I agree I did wrong. I laughed at him and said he could try. Then, despite his pleas, I went inside my house, leaving him outside. After that, it became quiet for 2 to 3 weeks, so I thought he finally left me alone. Then one day I got a call from an unknown number, and when I answered it, it was his mom crying and telling me that whatever my ex did, I should forgive him because her son is in the hospital right now after trying to end himself because I don't want him back anymore. I was really surprised and also worried, and so I told the mom I'll talk about this to my parents first. My dad said he was pitiful, and that although the end decision would still be mine, he hopes that I can support him for a while even if it means lying to him. My mom, on the other hand, said he's crazy and to never see him again. My sister is impartial with all of this. I also asked my friends and they basically said don't ever meet with him, because he's a manipulative jerk. My relatives eventually knew of this because the gossip mill here runs fast, and said I should forgive him and to let bygones be bygones, because God wouldn't forgive me if I don't forgive. I live in a misogynistic and religious country, so their behavior explains it. I do care about him and don't want him to die, but I also don't want to get back together with him because I know my worth. What is the best way to do things? Now for the top advice before reading the update. Don't give him false hope with this whole support. I would listen to your mom and friends. He's manipulative in what he's doing because he couldn't have it his way. Thanks for this. I thought if I left him alone despite his self-harming streak, then he'd try to end himself again and that he'd actually succeed. None of this is your fault, just to make that clear. He's the one who caused you to leave him for cheating. It's better to give a final note to his parents that you're going no contact for your own mental health. You matter in this too. Thank you. I really needed this. Mom and friends are right. You can't control what he does or does not do. If the man wants to end himself, he will. Nothing you can do about it. You see him, then he will end himself if you don't see him again. Then he will do the same thing if you don't reunite with him. Then again if you don't wear a green shirt. On and on and on. It is emotional blackmail. He needs to control his emotions and learn that he doesn't always get his way, and to deal with that like we all must. But I would be consistent no contact. I am now leading towards no contact, but I'm worried on what I should say to his mom and family so that they understand my decision. Should I say it so that his behavior doesn't worsen? Stop worrying about placating mom. She is in hen mode and could care less about your rationale. She is more fixated on getting him what he says he wants. I would not contact her right now either. Okay, thank you, we'll do this. And now for the update. So I followed the advice here and went no contact. I sent a text to his mom saying how I'll go no contact, but I wish for his fast recovery. Basically, it did not go well and it definitely got a lot worse before it got better. His mom sent me a lot of messages that were mostly curses. Yes, it included a lot of derogatory words. I knew she was mentally troubled because of what happened to her son, so I ignored it and blocked her. When I woke up, I got lots of messages and message requests, and it was because she posted what was supposed to be a private matter in social media for the whole world to see. She even posted pictures of him in the hospital and she tagged me. It was overall a very hateful post. She screenshotted my text message to her about going no contact. I was turned to a villain overnight. Most of my message requests were my ex's relatives cursing me, and some of them were random strangers who also rebuked me. Even worse, some of my own relatives berated me and they said I should have taken their advice and got back together with him. Thankfully, the post didn't become viral or anything like that, but so many people I know and friends of friends saw it. My mom told me to go on a social media detox or just go on sites where I'd enjoy and she'd handle it. Well, she posted a response to my ex's mom's post, and it was about how she conveniently left out the part where her son cheated on me just to gain internet sympathy. My friends also backed it up and sent receipts and screenshots. The same friends who were one of the first people to know about the cheating. The hate died down a bit and I also received some support, but the damage had been done. My ex's company saw the post, both my mom's and ex's mom's, and they want to let him off because the whole issue is not good for their image since it reached a lot of people. I knew because ex's mom privately messaged my mom to delete her post because of it. She also said she'll delete her own post too. My mom got mad saying she'll refuse to delete it because now they want to be civil. But I did tell her to just delete it so that the whole thing can be forgotten. So far the posts are still up. For context, I live in a religious country, so yes, I am still getting some hate messages, but personally, I believe I can handle it. As for my dad, him and my mom are not in speaking terms because my mom says he's not taking it seriously, and my dad says that this isn't much of an issue. To be honest, the most absurd thing about all of this is how my ex is still asking for me. I got a much unneeded update from someone in his circle of friends, who by the way knew of the cheating. All of his friends knew of the cheating and didn't think to tell me. I would like to thank all who gave me advice. I did not regret it one bit, because who I believe to be good people, ex's mom and ex, all turned out manipulative and hateful people. No worries, I will definitely not get in contact with any of them in the present nor future. I hope things smooth over for you soon, OP. It's disgusting that his mother tried to blast you on social media, and he's still trying to get your attention. Thank you. Despite all the hate from their side, things have died down, so hopefully this will be just a lasting memory. They are blaming you for his mental emotional flaws that existed long before you. If not you, some other trigger would have pushed him. His attempt at ending himself and their sick toxic response is evidence you made the right decision. Saw this sort of mind games used on my ex a lot. She was a people pleaser and she just wouldn't accept she was being manipulated. Like she had a guy threatening to end himself or me and she'd have to fix it. Why? His friends also told her not to tell me because I might go to the police and he wouldn't cope in jail. Don't delete until she deleted hers. Also send her a cease and desist letter as well as file a restraining order on your ex. Don't think this is the last you will hear from him. Thank you for the advice. Currently, me and my mom are in contact with a lawyer and he'll advise us on the matter. His mother's behavior is abhorrent. In no way should she be burdening you this. I imagine she's never held him accountable in his whole life for his actions having consequences and isn't going to start now. I hate that this is even a thing. Don't go back to him. He needs therapy and accountability. Of course his mommy wants your mom to take her post down. Her golden child is being threatened with termination, and that in the long run could affect her golden years. Mommy wants to live a comfortable lifestyle when the time comes for her to retire, so golden child cannot be terminated. You will survive this with the grace you have shown. You are very fortunate that there are no children or assets to tie you together, because your ex would have made you miserable and co-parenting would have been a nightmare. Last story. I'm leaving my husband because he's not upholding his part of the deal. My husband and I got married pretty young, 23, and we have been through a lot together. But I would say that our biggest struggles have been our careers and deciding on which paths to take. By the time we were 23, neither of us had graduated college yet, because college and life is expensive and we don't come from money. We both had to choose between working to survive and working to further our education on multiple occasions, ultimately setting us back in college many times. My husband was working dangerous situations in construction at the time, and I was working dead-end retail jobs. So one day we sat down with each other and really discussed what we wanted for our future and our life, and all of it came down to us bettering our lives, which came to furthering and completing our education. So I decided then that because we still needed to survive, I would work to provide for us while my husband focused on earning his environmental engineering degree, since he only had 3 years left for his degree versus my year left in undergrad and 4 years for med school. So we came to an agreement that he would solely focus on finishing his degree so that he could in turn provide for us, while I focused on med school solely down the line. He finished and earned his bachelor's, as did I. I went at my own pace, taking the bit of classes I had left here and there while working full-time as a caregiver to earn a living. I was so proud of him, and even prouder when he landed his dream job at a great company many months later. The job he landed is in his field, it pays amazingly, and offers great benefits. I gave it the 90-day provisional trial to see how my husband meshed with the company, and to see how things were for him before I even brought up the possibility of me continuing my education. After the 90 days, I sat my husband down to talk to him about the plans I have to continue on to med school. He convinced me to give us a couple of months to set up a rainy day fund just in case we needed it before I quit my job, which I fully understood. 6 months went by and our rainy day fund is pretty well padded, so I again talked to him about school plans, and he begins to say that he wants to start a family now, and doesn't think we could work out starting a family while all my attention being on med school. We have talked about starting a family, but once both of us were in the fields that we wanted. So I reminded him what we agreed upon, and he told me, well, I think right now is the perfect time to start a family, and I want one. So if you choose to go to school over our family, I'll be forced to part my ways with you. I stood there in complete shock of what he said to me, but ultimately decided that I love my husband, but not enough to give up on my education or goal. So I'm giving into his ultimatum and parting my ways. Now for the top comments. Good for you, OP. I can understand wanting to set up a rainy day fund, but only holding the agreement when it helped him and switching up on you like that is unfair of him. I wish all the luck on your studies, OP. I hope they don't share bank accounts. If they do divorce, her husband might try to take the rainy day funds for himself. Illegal and easily discovered by even the most incompetent lawyer. As soon as I read that he was going to finish school first and you were going to be the sole provider, I knew where this was going. I'm so sorry, OP. He took advantage of you. In this instance, you provided for the family so he could better himself and doesn't want to let you do the same now. At least you saw this before it got any further. This happened to a friend of mine. Except she did have 2 children while going back to school and him teaching. He left her for a student and she never finished her degree. As unfortunate and painful as it will be, you must leave him and pursue your own goals obviously without him. Godspeed. How awful for him to get everything he wants while she has to restart her entire career. Last story. I've sacrificed my entire life and I can't even get a simple thank you. I gave my entire childhood to raise my siblings. Yet in my mom's eyes, I'm just playing the victim. She acts as if her and my dad didn't leave me alone with 3 young kids at the age of 9 for a week without any money and barely any food to fend for ourselves. I knew how to change a diaper before I even finished learning long division. I missed so many days of school to make sure my siblings made it to school, missed so many meals to make sure my siblings ate, all while my parents got to be child-free. I didn't even go off to the college that I wanted to, because I knew that no one would be there to care for my siblings. Now I'm here at 23, and although my siblings are now older, 21, 17, and 15, I still take care of my 17 and 15-year-old sisters, and they live with me. My 17-year-old sister took her senior photos last night, and she invited my mom to come. I knew that my mom would make things about her like she always do, but it was my sister's choice to invite her. My sister looked absolutely stunning, and I was so proud. When it was time for my sister to pick out the photos that she liked and in what format she wanted it in, she picked out a photo of her in her cap and gown and chose it as a wall portrait. As I was paying for the photos, my sister asked me why she hadn't seen any senior pictures of me, to which I responded because I didn't take them. She then asked why, and I explained to her that I had to buy food for us so I couldn't afford the pictures. My mom flew off the handle, saying that I was lying, and that I always try to make her seem like a bad mom, and that I was playing the victim. I'd escalated the situation as best as I could to save my sister the embarrassment, but when we got back to my house, my mom just kept going and I finally broke down and said, "You are a crappy mom, and dad is just as crappy. I raised myself and your 3 other kids, while you guys got to live child-free most of our lives, and you're still living child-free. I pay for things that my sisters need, they have a home with me, and this is the first thing you've came to for them, because my sister had to beg for you to come. She again said I was lying. It's always been like this and I know it will always be like this, but geez, it would feel so nice to hear thank you from either of my parents. Set boundaries. Is there no possible way your siblings can move back with your parents and let them step up to the plate? It's not even about a thank you. They didn't want to take responsibility for their own children. They failed as parents. They deserve no respect from you, and you don't have to beg for their acceptance either. I wish I could, but if my sisters aren't with me, then they won't have anywhere to go. I haven't heard from our dad in over a year, while our mom is homeless and floating around with whichever guy she's with at the moment, so the only safe space they have right now is with me. My brother is currently away at college, and in the fall of this year my sister will also be away at college, and then it'll just be my baby sister left, and I don't want to put her in any dangerous situation. Sadly, in my experience, it never gets better. Only time my mother claimed I was her kid was when I claimed her child allowance. She lived with him a week while she contested me having the claim, and then he was back with me whilst I paid everything again. I never bothered trying again after that. Raised both my brothers, and got beaten every day just because she felt like it. She thinks she done me a favor treating me that way. I'm sorry you had to live that life. No one deserves to grow up in these situations. I'm sure there's no doubt in saying you were a safe space for your brothers. If no one has told you, you're an amazing older sibling. Take it from an older person who had somewhat similar experience from you. Never ask nor wait for gratitude from someone who already treats you like trash. It's a waste of time and emotion. Your siblings need to know the truth. You need to let go of the futile dream that your parents might change who they fundamentally are, and you and your sibs, need therapy. There's a common occurrence in mistreatment cases like yours, where the eldest does such a good job shielding their younger siblings from the horrible treatment that when the younger siblings become adults, they deny any it ever happened. I can see this happening with 17-year-old sister.